Congratulations. You have overthought the situation so much that you managed to conjure up me, some random girl on YouTube that is going to help you figure out why fuck you're so hung up on the situation that intuitively you know is no good for you. And if I'm being honest, this has to do with a certain person that you would probably not like to admit is still on your mind. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic, although I am getting a heavy energy of that because it feels like someone or something that you poured absolutely everything to, that you spent so much of your energy trying to hold together, trying to keep from being ripped apart. And you have now gotten to the point where you have realized that you have been the only one putting in the work for a very long time. And I know that realization fucking sucks. And I know that it hurts, but you need to first just accept that and sit with that and not feel any kind of shame about realizing that. Because to realize that you were the one that was holding the torch, thinking that someone else was following, like after that flame, and realizing that there was no one behind you, or the person that was behind you was following not only your torch, but somebody else's torch too, is a really, really, really hard thing to swallow. And it sucks. And it can bring up shame. It can bring up feelings of inadequacy. It can bring up just that deep wound that we have within us, especially if we have had any kind of abandonment in our childhood, but not even just childhood, because wounds can develop at any stage in life. So, first, this random girl on YouTube that you conjured up wants you to know that source and your angels and your guides and your higher self really, 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 really want you to just take a breath and forgive yourself. Because I think if you're honest with yourself, you have been holding a lot of resentment and a lot of self loathing for how this played out. And you're probably feeling like you are an idiot for falling for it. And I want you to know that you are not, that you just fell into a pattern that I don't think you were aware of for a long time, or you were aware of it, and you're finally getting to the point where you're actually not only recognize the pattern, but realizing that you have to behave differently, that you can continue to engage with this person or this energy and get the same result that is continuing to leave you empty. Or you can do something different and choose yourself and walk away. And that's the thing that's like, the tricky part is I think sometimes we get to a point where we think we're going to be so healed, we're going to be so enlightened that these actions and choices just come natural. And that's not how it is. We will always have things that trigger us, no matter how enlightened we claim to be. But it's the choices that we make and how we handle those triggers. And I want you to know that while it sucks, you're doing a really good job of realizing it and finally starting to come to terms with the fact that it's up to you whether you engage with it or not. But I'm getting the feeling that you don't want to engage with this anymore because you're realizing that you want to put yourself first, that you want to actually find the kind of love that you probably feel like you have never experienced in your life. And you're having this really shitty realization that a lot of the versions of love that you had in the past weren't actually love. They were just this pattern, this trigger, this wound playing out with other people. And that's not to say that you haven't experienced love and that you haven't given love, but it hasn't been reciprocated and it hasn't been able to be withheld in a way that was long lasting. It just like burned out quick. So I hope you realize that I literally have my tea right here and like I don't even care that it's like in the frame because it's like helping hold the camera up. I was about to chill, but I was just getting this like, I gotta record a video. So if it found you, know that it was meant for you. So I just kind of want to see what source and the cards have to say. And it's so dark in here. I should have turned the light on. Okay, so you got the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the King of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Hermit. So, essentially, exactly what we were just talking about. With this Seven of Pentacles here, you've been working at this for such a long time, if you're honest with yourself. And you're at the point now where you're realizing, okay, I know what result I get every time. Do I want to continue to do this? And you're starting to realize that a lot of the actions and ways in which you interacted with this person or these people or this situation was almost like on autopilot because you didn't realize that it was part of a pattern. So now that you've realized it's part of a pattern, you're like, how do I want to engage with this going forward? And if you're not quite there, Source wants to ask yourself, how do you want to engage with this? Because if you already know what the outcome is and you already know what it's going to lead to, why choose that for yourself? And if the answer is because deep down you're afraid that if you walk away from that thing or that person, that there will be nothing else left for you, then you definitely need to do a little bit of that hermit shadow work because, baby, you are the Empress, and to think that you deserve scraps, to think that you won't get anything better than these half ass connections with people that are just broken in different ways than you are, is something that you really, 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 really need to get over because it is so far from the truth. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way because we have all been there and we're all somewhere on that like pendulum and it swings. Some days we have really good days, some days we have really bad days. But you need to believe as your baseline that you deserve better than this. And the way you start believing that is by treating yourself better. You treat yourself the way you want to be loved by other people. And if you've never done that before, that can be such a scary, hard concept to grasp. But I promise you, it is one of those things that the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And before you know it, it really does become something that comes so much more naturally to you. But with that um Seven of Pentacles, you know you don't want to do this anymore because you know what you want. You want the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is not only all of your dreams coming true, but finding that connection, that sense of family and belonging that, yes, we can cultivate within us, but it feels so much sweeter when we can share that with other people. So you are not only being asked to step away from what you have been putting work into that you know is not serving you, and to put work into yourself. And through putting work into yourself, you are going to be able to cultivate and bring towards you the things that you deserve. Because if you're honest with yourself, you know you deserve them. You deserve them like yesterday. So let's get to it now because Source isn't going to bring these people into your life if it's something that you're not ready for. Because when we're not emotionally ready to receive the kind of love we deserve, when we do encounter that love, we're like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. And we self sabotage, we walk away, we ruin it. And Source doesn't want that. Source wants this to be something that lasts because you deserve something that lasts, because you deserve your King of Cups. Your King of Cups. You know what your King of Cups is? The love of your life. And the love of your life looks like the person inside of you that chooses yourself first. It also looks like a partner that mirrors the traits of yourself that you want to see mirrored. Not the things that are shitty, not the things that are dark, but the things that you want to portray out into the world. And that doesn't mean that that person's not going to like your dark, shitty side. They will, but that's not going to be the thing they focus on. They're going to focus on the light. So, my love, you are the Empress. Please, 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 please let this message sink in. Know that whatever is leaving your life or has recently left your life, it was for a reason. And while I know it fucking sucks and it hurts, if you were honest with yourself, you would admit that this needed to happen for you to finally get to the breaking point where you had no other option but to turn within and turn to yourself and lean on yourself and support yourself. So please, please be gentle with yourself. If you have people in your life that you trust and you can lean on them. And if you don't have any that you feel like you want to talk about this to, because whatever reason, I am always here. Please let me know how this resonated. And please let me know if you got anything insightful out of it because I love hearing the things that you guys have to say and how you guys navigate things because it gives me a fresh perspective. And sometimes I'm navigating these things myself, and hearing how someone else does it is like, okay, there is hope. I'm not the only one. So, I hope this resonated. You are so incredibly loved. Source is so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And really, really be proud of yourself, because a lot of people don't ever get to the point where they are willing to admit the things that you have been admitting to yourself lately, and where they're not even willing to do the work that you have been doing. A lot of people never do this. That is why it's so important for you to stay on this journey, because your transformation will be something that other people can see, and that will be so magnetic. And we need more people to be willing to do the work. The more of us that do it, the less scary, the less taboo, the less weird it's going to be. Like, people will want to jump the bandwagon, and that's what we need. So, you are so loved. I will see you so, so soon. And Source is always with you.